Hello lovely lot, my name is Max, welcome back to my YouTube channel and another Nottingham Forest video. Yes, we are back ladies and gents talking about tactics and transfers and potentially, by the time you're seeing this, our first completed transfer, a club record fee for Taiwo Awoniyi from Union Berlin. And that fee is apparently £17.5 million, a release clause in his contract which leaves him around his valuation according to Transfermarkt of around 18 million quid, although famously, Transfermarkt can be quite modest with their transfer fees. In this video, we'll be discussing why Nottingham Forest have signed him, how he plays in this Union Berlin system, and how in the future for Nottingham Forest he could shape up as Steve Cooper takes us to the Premier League for the first time in nearly 25 years. Of course, if you're new around here, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe down below if you do enjoy this kind of content. These videos come out around once a week where we discuss all the latest tactics and transfer news for Nottingham Forest, and when the new season begins, we will be returning with a match previews. So drop a like, subscribe below, ring that notification bell and you won't miss a single video. Without any further ado, let's start talking about Taiwo Awoniyi. So let's start talking firstly about Taiwo Awoniyi and his background as a player, where he's coming from and what kind of a player he is. Awoniyi started his professional career with Liverpool in the Premier League, failing to make a single Premier League appearance before being shipped out on 7 consecutive loans due to a work permit issue. This period included a loan to Union Berlin 2 seasons back, which was transformed into a permanent deal for around 6.5 million quid going into the previous season. And it is also worth noting, should this transfer go through, Liverpool will be netting a cool £2 million as a sell-on clause due to the contract he signed with Union Berlin, a decent piece of business from the Merseyside club. The 24-year-old Nigerian international is coming off the back of his best goal-scoring club season to date, netting 15 goals and grabbing 1 assist in the Bundesliga, as well as 2 goals in the Europa Conference League for Union Berlin. This included their highest league finish, finishing 5th in the Bundesliga this season and reaching the group stage of the Europa League for the first time in their history, and only missing out on Champions League football by a single point. And Awoniyi was a huge part of this, as I mentioned, 15 goals and 1 assist in the league this season, 20 in all competitions, and really having his breakout campaign in Europe, netting around 0.6 expected goals per 90 minutes and firing off 2.7 shots per 90, the highest of his career and what would rank him the highest in the Nottingham Forest squad of players to have more than 1,200 league minutes. In fact, if we take that XG number and the amount of shots that he's getting off per match, it ranks him around the same sort of level as Tammy Abraham at Roma this season, so ranking him as a very tidy finisher in the Bundesliga. Aside from his goal scoring antics, he is also a very solid physical player, standing at over 6 feet tall, and can help drive his team forward on the counter-attack with a combination of both pace and incredible technical skill, which has seen him thrive in the Bundesliga this season. He ranks in the top 25% of forwards in Europe for progressive passes. These are passes over a distance of over 10 yards or more, and also in the top 20% of forwards in Europe for dribbles completed at around 1.5 per 90 minutes, meaning not just is he a technically solid player, but also his physical presence so he can get past his man and slot home coolly to get goals. And that transitions nicely into how Union Berlin utilised the Nigerian International, and through doing some research, there are definitely a lot of similarities between Union Berlin and Nottingham Forest. The research from this, of course, primarily comes from watching some of their highlights, but also from a fantastic article from The Athletic from Jasmine Baba, which is a fantastic insight into how Union Berlin play at the moment and the use of their wing backs for that system. As always, I will leave a link to that in the description box below and you can go check it out at your own leisure. So as you can see, defensively, Union Berlin in the blue play a 5-3-2 formation defensively, 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, 3 midfielders, usually a number 10 dropping into those 3 midfielders, and 2 number 9s. And really the biggest strength of Union Berlin over the last couple of seasons since their promotion to the Bundesliga is their ability to hit teams on the break, sometimes one-dimensionally, but they've added a lot of facets to that game, and they rank as one of the lowest ranking possession sides in the Bundesliga at the time of recording, which is 44% possession in their matches. Now, as you can see, I've got this set up. They can either do this by sitting deep and sort of waiting for one of the midfielders to get a missed pass, picking it up and springing forward on the counter-attack, or they can do this by implementing a very good press, forcing the opposition into possibly wider areas where they can pick up the ball, or forcing them to misplaced passes where they can again then spring forward. Either way, it's not about how they win the ball back that's the important thing, it's the fact that they are winning the ball back as high up the pitch as possible so they can spring forward on the counter attack. If, say for example, a team is playing out from the back trying to start an attack, they will have their forwards and their wing backs occupy high and wide areas, looking to transition the ball as quickly as possible, picking it up and then obviously creating goal scoring opportunities from that. When they do eventually pick up the ball, Union Berlin are a fantastic team at breaking forward quickly on the counter-attacks, getting their forwards into central areas, using the width occupied by their very aggressive and very attackingly strong wing backs, and using their midfield to supplement this as well. They could potentially launch quick attacks using their defenders, launching the ball over the top. If we've got, for example, a bit of a higher line here, we can then use our forwards to create these sort of central inside runs, forward looking for that run from the defender over the top to the forward. And this really is something Awoniyi does very well. He's a very able runner, does a lot of running, covers a lot of ground in his matches, obviously coming back and defending, but also getting forward, making these aggressive inside runs. He can also go outside as well, and obviously will look to get in the box for either cutbacks or crosses from his fullback. I would say the main thing that I've noticed about Union Berlin is how fantastic they are at sucking the ball into these central areas of the pitch. It's something Forest do quite well as well under Steve Cooper, and when you suck the ball into the middle of the pitch, it sort of brings players into more central areas, and then you can look to spring attacks to your wing backs on the counter attack when you do pick up the ball in these sort of middle of the field sort of transitions. Again, it's something Forest have done fantastically. Jed Spence on the right hand side was really good at sort of receiving the ball in these wide areas from the ball basically being knocked around in the midfield and being quickly transitioned by Forest into the wide areas. And of course then the man on the end of the chances when we do eventually find ourselves in the box is Taiwo Awoniyi, a fantastic finisher, a natural finisher you could say, but also somebody who does a lot of the hard running, can do the hold-up play, he can carry the ball if he needs to. He is all round a very solid forward in my opinion. From what I can see, there are definitely a lot of similarities in the way that Union Berlin and Nottingham Forest play under their respective coaches. A three at the back system that looks to win the ball as high at the pitch as possible, transition quickly using the width of their fullbacks. Forest case, it's usually Jed Spence on the right hand side. For Union Berlin, it's their two wing backs, two very aggressive, high pressing wing backs who can create chances and score themselves. In terms of slotting in, of course, I have no idea where he's actually going to play for Nottingham Forest, but I would imagine probably as part of that front two alongside Brennan Johnson. With Brennan's tendencies to like to prefer to drift out into the channels, you can definitely see Awoniyi occupying a more central area, kind of similar to what Keenan Davis was doing for Forest. I don't think his hold-up play necessarily will be as good as Keenan Davis, but I think he offers a little bit more motion, a little bit more running in behind, and I think transitioning into playing in the Premier League this season, which I still can't really believe I'm saying that, I definitely think Forest are going to have to surrender a lot more possession in their matches, and having a player in Awoniyi who is fantastic on the break, is a real threat at receiving the ball either as a pivot to create other chances or at running at defenders to create opportunities for himself. I think he is the right profile kind of player Forest should be going for, and I can see him netting 8, 9, 10 goals in the Premier League this season and being a pretty relative success for the Premier League new boys. Of course though, let me know in that comment section down below what you think of the signing of Taiwo Awoniyi. It is apparently a club record fee, and I definitely think for the money you are getting a quality striker who has two really productive seasons at top level German football under his belt. Obviously is from the Liverpool Academy as well. I don't know if he counts as a homegrown player, but has played for Liverpool. He knows English football, I suppose, to an extent. I feel like I'm making quite a tenuous link there. Whilst you're down there, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well, subscribe there as well, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single tactics and transfers video and the return of the match previews when we kick off against Newcastle in a month or so's time. With all that being said though, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will catch you Reds later.